My parents never realized I was standing behind them at our grand family dinner. She's too foolish to notice we only keep her around for her money. So I let them until it was too late for them to fix it. The evening was grand, just as it always was. A long table covered in ivory linen stretched across the elegant dining hall. Crystal glasses sparkled under the glow of the chandeliers, and the air smelled of aged wine and roasted duck. Laughter echoed across the room, the laughter of my parents, my aunts, my uncles. Everyone I had believed was my family. They all sat there, wine glasses in hand, plates filled with food I had unknowingly paid for. I had stepped away from the table to take a phone call. When I returned, I paused behind the heavy velvet curtains, overhearing a conversation that shattered me. "She's too stupid to notice. We only keep her around for her money." My father's voice rang out, dripping with arrogance. The room erupted in laughter. My mother sighed dramatically, taking another sip of wine. "Honestly, I thought you would have caught on by now. But no, our little idiot just keeps paying for everything, happy to be included." A few of my cousins snickered. "Pathetic," one of my uncles added. "She actually thinks she belongs here." I couldn't breathe. The warmth of the evening vanished, replaced by a creeping cold that spread through my chest. I clutched the curtain's edge, my nails digging into the fabric as their words drilled into my skull. I had worked so hard. I built a business from the ground up. I thought they were finally proud of me. Instead, I was just their personal ATM. They didn't love me. They didn't even respect me. They were using me. I could have stormed in, confronted them, screamed at them. But as my pulse pounded in my ears, I forced myself to breathe. I swallowed the fire in my throat and let my face go blank. If they thought I was stupid, if they truly believed I was blind to their manipulation, then I would let them think that. Because they had just made the biggest mistake of their lives. I forced a smile and stepped back into the dining hall. "Everything okay?" my mother asked sweetly, like she hadn't just stabbed me in the heart. I nodded, keeping my expression neutral. "Just a business call." My father gave an approving nod. "Good girl. You should always be working. That's why you're successful." I clenched my jaw. "You mean that's why you're successful?" I sat down, letting them continue their act. The conversation shifted to vacations, expensive watches, stock market trends, things they had never worked for but indulged in because of me. I had funded their lifestyle, thinking I was proving my worth to them. Not anymore. I smiled to myself, a plan already forming. Let them enjoy their luxuries while they could, because soon, it would all be ripped away. The next morning, I made the first move. I called my financial advisor. "Jacob, I want to remove all family members from shared accounts immediately." Jacob hesitated. "Ma'am, are you sure? That includes all of them." I said sharply, "Freeze all the cards except mine. If they try to use them, decline the transactions." By afternoon, my father called me, furious. "What the hell is going on?" he barked. My card was declined at the golf club. I feigned confusion. "Really? That's strange." He cursed under his breath. "Fix it. Now." I didn't. Instead, I watched as their illusion of wealth began to crumble. A week later, I attended a high-profile charity gala, one that my family had only gained access to because of me. They arrived in their designer wear, oblivious to the fact that tonight, their world would collapse. When it was my turn to speak, I walked to the stage, my heart pounding. I took a deep breath and smiled at the audience. "It's an honor to be here tonight, and I want to thank those who supported me, not because they wanted something from me, but because they believed in me." The room quieted. My parents shifted uncomfortably in their seats. I turned, my eyes locking onto my father. "Unfortunately, I've also learned that some people only love you when you're useful to them." A ripple of whispers spread through the crowd. "So, as of today, I am cutting all financial ties with those who took advantage of my success." Gasps. Murmurs. I saw my mother grip the tablecloth, her knuckles white. It was done. The morning after the gala, my phone was flooded with missed calls and unread messages, all from my parents. I didn't answer. Instead, I took a long sip of my coffee and watched as the chaos unfolded. By noon, my mother's name flashed on my screen again. This time, I picked up. "Hello?" I answered, my voice indifferent. "How dare you?" she screeched. "Do you have any idea what you've done? The bank froze our accounts. Our cards are getting declined. We can't even get into our country club." I swirled my coffee, leaning back in my chair. "Oh, that's strange," I said, my tone eerily similar to hers from the night at the dinner table. My father's voice boomed in the background. "Fix this. Now." I almost laughed at the entitlement dripping from his voice. I had funded their entire lifestyle, yet they still spoke to me like a child. Like I owed them something. I tapped my fingers against the table. "I don't think I will," I said finally. Silence. Then my mother's voice dropped to a sickly sweet tone. "Darling, I think there's been a misunderstanding. Why don't we sit down and—" I heard everything, I cut in, my voice calm but cold. Another silence. But this time, it was heavy. What? She whispered. I was standing behind you at the family dinner, I said, letting my words sink in. I heard you all. Every single word. My mother sucked in a breath. My father muttered something under his breath, then cleared his throat. Look, sweetheart, you're overreacting. We were joking. Joking? That was their excuse. I let out a dry laugh. Joking? That's funny, because you didn't sound like you were joking when you called me an idiot and said I was only useful for my money. No, honey. I hung up. Let them stew in their panic. Because this was only the beginning of their downfall. By the end of the day, their world was unraveling. Their luxury cars repossessed. Their lavish country club membership revoked. The mansion they flaunted for years, under final warning from the bank. Without my money paying their mortgage, they would lose it within weeks. And the best part? Their so-called friends, the ones who had flocked to them when they were dripping in money, vanished. I watched as their once pristine lives turned into a nightmare of desperate phone calls and ignored voicemails. It was poetic. They had spent years looking down on me, laughing at me behind my back. Now, the entire world was laughing at them. I didn't think things could get worse for them. But then the media caught on after my announcement.